English news reporting.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely audience, and welcome to the East-West Show. Jack Chow, your host. This is the show that we talk about only nothing but truth, the right from wrong. And this show is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, a Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry that has 400 years, glorious years of history, and hand-forged by 10 generations of the best craftsmen, which stands for a testimony to the spectacular and the share of the royal glory. That brings us back to the show. Today, somebody with me that you may recognize by looking at the handsome face and the bow tie too, is my dear brother and person that I respect so much. Of all my friends, I believe that he deserves to be called my mentor, Mr. Drexel Smith. Sir, welcome to the show. To Mr. Drexel Smith, I have lots of respect. I respect him not only because of his age, not only because he is supporting the show, but a lot lies to the fact that he is a Rotarian who travels around, who recently put up a trip, of course, once again, out of his own pocket to help the needy people. Sir, once again, welcome back to the show.
Jack, it's always an honor to be with you, and I truly value our friendship. We've been together a number of years, back with your radio show, and
it's the best part of my life ever.
Many TV shows, and
sure.
It's always great to be with you.
Sure, Sam. And to me, to have you as a friend is the best part of my life. And of course, and I still recall those days when your son, Tony, was with me, and he's helping us a lot. Let him know that I extend my respect to him.
Oh, right? I will do that.
Even though a long time no see, but I still want him to know that, right?
He's just...
But back to your Rotarianship. I know you're a glorious, proud Rotarian of one of the 1.5 million members, right? And I just learned that you recently put up a trip with a group of people, and I really want to learn something about it, please.
Jack, I did. I just returned a few days ago from 2 weeks in Tanzania. Mm-hmm. It was a particular Rotary-sponsored mission between Rotary here in our district, 5300, co-sponsored by Rotoplast in the Netherlands, and Rotoplast San Francisco, which has put together a program to help primarily children, but there's no age restriction. But their mission is to field a team of plastic surgeons to do cleft lip repair, cleft palate repair, and more burn scarring repair.
I see.
In our mission, we were in Arusha, Tanzania. We had 15 of the medical team. We had 9 non-medical people. Arusha, Tanzania is located almost on the coast. It's not quite a coastal city, but it's toward the coast, and it's a fascinating time and a fascinating city. And I have some information I'm happy to share with you about what the team accomplished.
And of course, lots of people would like to know the people there and what you see, even including the landscape and the beautiful life there, right? But the first question they would have to ask is that, what is the Rotoplast of Netherlands, Rotoplast of San Francisco, and your 5300 district? Those three are the major things that I cannot understand who we are talking about. There are lots of respectful people. We really have to know them one by one. If not one by one, group by group, please.
Well, Rotary as an organization, as you indicated, is over 1 million members in over 122 countries. And the world of Rotary is divided into zones and districts just so people have a management place to go. I am in District 5300, which is sort of an interesting district, L-shaped, begins in Pasadena, very narrowly, goes east towards San Bernardino, like the I-15 freeway, then turns due north and goes all the way past Las Vegas.
This kind of L.
This kind of
But
an
not this
L,
kind of L,
exactly.
Right?
We have over 60 clubs, individual clubs that make up District 5300. And one of your former guests, Luann Arredondo, starting today, July 1st, is the incoming new district governor.
Is she the new governor or the incoming?
She was the incoming yesterday. She is now the new governor July 1st. The governor.
The governor. Oh, right. Congratulations to her.
1st.
I should go call her.
So that is District 5300 under the Rotary banner.
I see.
A separate district out of a Rotary Club in San Francisco started this issue of sending teams of surgeons, but they incorporated as a separate nonprofit foundation under the Rotary banner called Rotoplast.
Rotoplast.
And it's a combination of words of Rotary and plastic.
Plastic surgery, yeah.
Rotoplast Netherlands found that they wanted to be a big part of this program, and it was easier for them to raise funding if they were a separate nonprofit in the Netherlands. So they set up a separate nonprofit corporation. Their sole mission is to generate funding, send it to Rotoplast to help them field these type of teams.
All right.
Overall, to send a team of 20 to 30 team members cost about $120,000. And I'll talk a little bit more of that as we go.
All right.
But it's substantial because the team takes all of its own needed equipment. Not one team member, every single member of the team, that's doctors, nurses, anesthesiologists, and the non-medical team members are paid. It's all volunteer.
None of them.
Not one gets paid.
No, not even one.
Not even one.
Not even one. Okay.
Now, the medical team, the doctors and nurses, get their airfare paid for by Rotoplast. They put that in the team expense.
All right.
They find that it's too much to ask for them to give 2 weeks of their time
And to
pay airfare.
And to pay their own airfare, right?
Non-medical team members like me,
Like yourself, yeah.
I paid my own airfare, as did the other non-medical team members.
Drexel, to be honest with you, I respect you. I love you. With lots of respect, right? Really the part that gets me touched is that nowadays we're in a world that everybody talks about robbing a bank. Let's rob a bank, right? Let's do this. Let's do that, right? You go to a bookstore, right? All your eyes, you have an eye full of books that tells you how to make money, how to get rich overnight, how to grab others' wealth and put it into your pocket. And the best one is that they make it overnight, make it short. versus this as a environment, as a big environment.
Well, rhodoplast fields,
There are people, right, who sacrifice, take their own time out of their busy schedule and money out of their own pocket, leaving their lovely behind wife at home, such as your case, to go do something that is thousands of miles away at a corner of the earth somewhere. It is really something. Not I'm saying it.
yeah,
To my audience, you just weigh it in yourself, right? So weigh it versus the big environment, the bigger environment. What kind of environment we have, right? What kind of everyday activities that we see. Now we seldom. Once out of the blue, it's really out of the blue, we see people go fly to as far as a country called Tanzania, to a small area called Arusha, to do such a big mission. I wish I had four hands. If I had four hands, I would do it with my four. But right now, I'll give my both thumbs up. And with lots of respect, my dear friends, let's take a short moment out. We come back, we find from this respectful Mr. Drexel Smith a proud Rotary about their step-by-step of the great journey and great mission. Stay with us, please.
Everything is expected and straight. It's like seeing John Wayne.
My name is Paul James. I host the news.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audience, and welcome back to the show. Jack Chow, your host. Today with me is my dear friend, Mr. Drexel Smith, a lovely member of this community. We're both in West Covina, but he does look around. He has a vision of it all over the world. As a proud Rotarian of the 5300 district, at which one of my friend, Luann Arredondo, becomes the district governor as of today. He himself joined the great team, went to Tanzania, to a small area called Arusha, Tanzania, to complete and accomplished coming back with a great mission to help the needy people. For them, I give and 100% respect and a big applause for what you have achieved.
Jack, this team was phenomenal and came together for the very first time from across the U.S. and from Europe. The team medical director, Todd Farnsworth, is a plastic surgeon from Phoenix, Arizona. The non-medical, but the team mission director has done over 20 missions as the director, a chief of police in a small community in Pennsylvania. Just did an awesome job. The team head nurse, and I learned quickly that the head nurse really runs the show, has done over 30 rhodoplast missions.
Wow.
And she comes from the great state of Colorado. We had Paul Ferringer, who's a plastic surgeon who had his own practice in Kona, Hawaii, now is with Kaiser Permanente in Honolulu. We had Dr. Sebrin Scheppel, who has completed over 30 rhodoplast missions from the Netherlands. We had Dr. Rod Simmons, a very prominent plastic surgeon from San Francisco, who is with Kaiser Permanente also. He has completed 30 rhodoplast missions and several with his wife as the head nurse. We had 3 anesthesiologists, one another Kaiser doctor, and two, one from Pennsylvania, who is a teaching professor at the University of Pennsylvania, and one, Stephen Carlson, who is a retired Navy doc and still practices anesthesiology part-time.
The pack of the best of the world.
And we had absolutely the A-team.
The A-team, yes.
We had two pediatricians that absolutely were superb, both of them from the Netherlands. But Dr. Vroels has also spent 15 years in Tanzania as the medical director of a large hospital and spoke Swahili freely.
Okay.
So he was our team translator when we got into trouble. We had OR nurses, one from San Francisco and one from Salt Lake, both with a very long resume of supporting these kinds of missions. We had two post-anesthesiologist nurses. The guy from Chicago has done 32 missions. She was a beautiful young lady, born in the Philippines, came to the U.S., had a distinguished career of 44 years as a post-anesthesiologist RN, and now she continues to give her time as a rotoplas mission. And then supporting her was a young man, Bruce Hickey, who is a contract post-anesthesiology clinician. We had a physical therapist that specialized in helping patients with retracted burns, and she would help in dealing with the patients recovering. We had non-medical team members responsible for records management, for supporting the patients in the operating room and anesthesiologist. We had Marianne from the Netherlands dealing with patient transportation. We had Agnes, a psychologist by training. She came from Germany. She's on the board of Rotoplas Netherlands, and her specialty was dealing with children that have medical problems. We had over 30 patients in the wards that she worked with in the ward environment. We had Eric Boyd, a local Rotarian and a YMCA director from the local area, as our logistician who managed all of the supplies. The governor, up until Sunday, of District 5300, John Chase, was the ward coordinator, and I was honored to be the team documentarian and historian and photographer.
Secretary General.
Well, my job was to take pictures of every prospective patient, every patient during their procedure and post-procedure.
Before, after.
Before, during and after.
Before, during, after.
And to tell the team stories. So I was actually dressed in scrubs, was in the surgical room. We hosted on clinic, open clinic day, over 120 prospective patients. And I'd like to share with you some of the moving stories of them. Of them, the team performed 61 surgeries.
61 surgeries?
Over 70 procedures, because some patients had more than
one procedure,
procedure. So,
you know how many days?
7 days of surgery.
7 days.
We did over 61 procedures.
Of the 61 or 71 something procedures.
Yes. And what I'd like to share, and I've given an electronic copy of this information, but here is a copy, Jack,
Okay.
of 12 of the
some
61
of us we can see on the big screen, yes.
Okay? But on the top and bottom are children, the youngest 3 months, the oldest 9 years, with cleft lip, cleft palate
lips, yes.
deformity. This metal picture is tragic burns, where the scarring has contracted
Yeah.
to the point
You can't
that they
you
can't
can't
have
straighten
movement.
it. Your arms.
Their burns may be in their arms, their hands, their fingers are fused, their toes, their legs. It was amazing. And I was unprepared for how many burn patients we had. More than half were burn patients. And after the break, I will share some of these stories that are very moving about what these miracle workers, these plastic surgeons.
Technically, you're talking about, for example,
Yes.
the cleft lips, right?
Yes.
You need something to stick them together. You just not tie it up because you will need extra skins. Am I right? And then for the contractual kind of burns, you still need the extra skin to make room for it.
Yes, I suggest.
Am I right?
Yes, I will talk about that in the next session.
Oh, very good, very good. But you were talking about 61 procedures, referring to 61 patients?
61 patients over 70 separate procedures.
Okay.
Because some patients got more
Had
than
gone
one
had
procedure.
gone through more than one.
That's right.
All right. So, in other words, in the 61, no, in the 61, the majority had gone through one procedure only.
Correct. A
Right.
cleft lip,
Yeah.
one arm burn.
That's the miracle. That's
Yeah.
a miracle.
Yes.
Going through several times does not surprise me for that kind of burns and for the cleft lips.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So,
But these surgeons are artisans, craftsmen, as well as medical doctors. With their ability,
you're right.
with their ability to analyze a patient, look at the lip, and decide we'll cut here, here. We'll fold the skin back. We'll begin the inner layers of stitching from the underneath out. We'll take a fold of skin and move it here. We'll do this over here. So when it heals, it'll be little more than a little row of stitches. Miracle workers. These people have taken a severe contraction of the arm, completely removed all of the skin, then taken a center about this big out of their abdomen of skin and replaced it on their arm.
What about the abdomen?
They bring the skin back together and a row of stitches to make a seam, bringing it back together.
That's about
Phenomenal.
that's like what? Like craftsmanship.
This is true.
Craftsmanship for me.
Craftsmanship.
All right. My dear audiences, my lovely brothers and sisters, Mr. Jackson Smith is one of the most phenomenal human being that I respect a lot, because he has the spirit of helping people, now, which is the only thing that we're missing of a nowadays world. And they do it. They not only they do it, but they do it a big time. So we're now talking about their recent trip to Tanzania, to a small town called Arusha, right? So let's take a short moment out. We come back for the stories. How about that?
Everything is expected to be straight. It's like seeing John Wayne.
My name is Paul James. I host the news.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, my dear friends, lovely audience. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow on the East West with the to talk about a special trip to Tanzania put up by a group of the A doctors, Class A doctors, and the Class A of human beings, and Class A of Rotarians. I'm touched. I'm totally convinced. I'm convincingly touched, because this is something exactly to the contrary of what is prevailing to this world.
Jack, let me share with you this story. Mm-hmm. Here is a picture of a woman who saw a poster about this program in her village that was over 1,000 kilometers away.
From her home.
From her village to Arusha, over 1,000 kilometers. Mm-hmm. She had a 16...
So slow down. You're talking about 1,000 kilometers. You're talking about from here to
San Francisco twice.
To San Francisco twice. Okay. Back and forth, right? Okay. Okay, go ahead.
She had a 16-month-old boy with a significant cleft lip problem. She knew that growing up as a young boy with this deformity would, one, create a problem with his ability to eat, but number two, he would be a social outcast in his village.
Yeah. His life is ruined for that.
So she wrapped her son up in a harness on her back. She started walking.
Walking?
The first 21 kilometers, she walked.
21 kilometers a long distance already.
With the boy on her back.
With the boy on her back.
At the end of 21 kilometers, she had arrived at a neighboring village that was large enough that had bus transportation.
To pack several of the kids.
So she boarded a small community bus. These are steel seats, no cushion. These are people packed in with their chickens and their pigs. Okay?
Yeah.
For the first part of the trip, she had to stand up with her boy on her back. And she made it another 50 kilometers in this little rickety three-wheeled bus.
Yeah. I knew exactly what you're talking about.
To where she finally got...
I had gone through that kind of a transportation myself.
She finally got to a village big enough after another 50 kilometers to board a larger community bus.
There's only three, no, not even 300.
So now she hasn't even traveled 100 kilometers.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
21 walking, 50 in this
another
three-wheel
50
bus.
or something.
Okay? So she has yet almost another 1,000 kilometers to go. Taking over 3 days to get to Arusha.
By
this community bus.
By the community bus.
She arrived at the bus station, asked for directions, and walked several more kilometers to arrive at the clinic on opening day, really hopeful that the team could take care of her son. She was the first patient for op table number 2. Very successful. And 2 days after the surgery, pictured here, she is getting ready with her son back on her back to make the return trip home the same way she came. Except this time, the Rotoplast team...
judging at this picture, the lips are fixed. It looks
the
normal
team
now.
Gave her enough money to get a taxi to the bus station. And she was given enough money that on the return trip...
How old was her son, you said?
16 months.
16 months, all right, sure.
1
60
year,
months, yeah.
1 year and a half.
And a little, yeah.
Almost a year and a half.
Uh-huh.
But she got enough money to where she could get a bus ticket where she could hopefully sit down for most of the 3 days
Going back home.
going back home.
Uh-huh. Okay, now, who pays for this, for the operation, for the plastic surgery? Free of charge?
Done by the team.
I know, but to the patients, free of charge.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Absolutely.
God. My dear audience, to the patients, those kind of surgery is free of charge. All right?
So let me move on to the next story.
Yeah, please.
This will break your heart
Oh, yeah, look at the burns.
to
Oh,
look at the
yeah.
burn scarring of this young, happy, bouncy child that at 1 year old fell into a wood-burning stove with a boiling pot of tea and horribly burned her chest and her arm to where the skin was so contracted that she could no longer move her arm. Even though she spent 7 weeks in the hospital in her local village, they had no way to deal with this kind of a problem. So she too traveled a great distance in the hopes that the surgeons can support. This is a classic example where this young girl underwent as a 3-year-old, this is a 3-year-old child, underwent a 3-hour procedure to remove an area of skin about this big from her abdomen. And after they cut away the skin on her arm, they restitched the skin on her arm. So now, hopefully, it will grow to where she can get reasonable movement. And the place on her abdomen was pulled back together because it's looser skin there and restitched. An absolute miracle. And the follow-up of the last day appeared to be very productive. It looked like the skin graft was taking. This particular procedure,
Most importantly, can she or he move?
it will take a little more time, but it appears yes. This type of procedure is called a full thickness skin graft, or an FTSG, in the world of skin grafting.
Full thickness?
Full thickness means a full thickness of skin graft, skin graft. Full thickness skin graft.
Oh, you're not taking one layer of the skin. You take
Taking
the
the full
thickness of the skin and just a patch to it.
Yes, with removal of so much skin on her arm, they couldn't do it with a single layer. So, why are so many burns? Well, in Tanzania, open cooking on hardwood charcoal or maybe a kerosene
Or on the street.
is common. They don't have gas electric stoves like we do. So these 18-inch, 20-inch high off the ground are just easy targets of opportunity for a child to get close, and their flowing robes made of cotton instantly burst into flames, burning their legs, their chest, their feet, their arms, and or spilling the contents.
Understandable.
They make a great deal of fried food.
And for the past years, I was involved with the EDI street market thing. For that, we have a food booth, and the county inspections, fire inspections, was so strict on everything. Every connection there, everything. It has a good reason. Sometimes the fire can start within seconds. It can burn up everything within seconds.
Do we have time in this segment for one more story?
Of course,
Okay.
yeah.
Miss M, I've called her, because the pictures are so graphic, I wanted to respect her privacy.
Yeah, please.
Came to us with a 10-year-old girl with burns so severe on the inside of her thighs, they were about this big on both sides.
Ah.
And this was a classic example. And she removed a tea kettle, and her clothing caught on fire from an open burn fire and horribly burned the inside of her thighs
Oh, God.
to where walking was a challenge and the burn scarring was horrible. In this particular case, what they did, and again, you can see photographs here, Jack, but with her legs open, they took each thigh and they scraped away the burn scars.
Uh-huh. But how long has the burn been?
In this particular case, less than a year.
It may have
Months,
healed already.
months. Well, what was healing was scarring.
Yeah, scar. Yeah.
And because of the scarring,
I'm talking about the tedious process of regrowing, whatever.
can you imagine the pain?
Yeah, you can imagine the pain. Yes.
So what they did in this particular case, they scraped away the scar material on the inside of her thighs. Then they take a machine, a dermatome. The machine, in this case, they went to each of her shins between her knee and her ankle, and the machine cuts a single layer of skin. And they take that single layer of skin and put it through almost like a pasta maker that flattens it thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner and gets it wider and wider and wider. And then they take that final piece of single layer skin and use that to put in place of where they had scraped away the outer skin.
Oh my God.
And then they staple that in place, the new skin. Now, the area where the machine took off the skin,
Whose technology? Did I say technology?
this is U.S. technology,
I see. All right. Not proud of that.
where
yeah.
they've removed that skin, and in this particular case, it was 15 1/1000ths, very thin. The area that they removed the skin will simply grow back with antibiotics and help.
Yeah.
It's
all right,
like
okay.
getting a burn sliding on the
You were talking
on the
about a
ground.
layer of cells.
A layer of cells.
A layer of cells, right? Taken away. All right. Good.
Okay? So that part will grow back on its own, no restitching. But the part on in her thighs now has new skin to reattach.
Yes, you're
that
right.
will regrow. And the post-surgery on her, as they did the redressing, looked like the skin was healing extremely well. So this girl will be able to walk, be mobile, have far less scarring. So this is called a split thickness skin graft. Different technology, different approach for a different type of malady.
Yes, of course. I can see now the wish of doing so is one thing. The capability of doing so well is the other. And the team has everything combined, right? Let's take a very short moment out. We come back for more stories. Please stay with us.
Everything.
We have to continue to work
It's
on
like
it
the
now.
same Broadway.
My name is Paul James. I'm host of the news every morning.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow, you're a host. We're talking about today a very, very specific subject, and that is how am I going to address it? It's the mission of humanity stretched to the universal love, all right, to the needy people. And typically in this special trip, that Mr. Drexel Smith and his team just put up, from which he come back sick. I call him gloriously here sick. Was a mission of Rotoplast of Arusha 2019, whereby they took care of the needy people, the needy children in this case. And I was touched. My summary last segment was that to have the wish to do it is one thing, but to have the ability to do it well to the point is the other. So they have everything combined. So
Jack,
back
let
to
me
your
share
story,
with
sir.
you this beautiful young girl who was a 6-year-old, was burned by a kerosene gas heater that had exploded. And the kerosene fuel went onto her face, and as you saw, horribly disfigured her mouth and her eye. The challenge isn't only to make her return to her beautiful self, but to allow her to have function. Because she can't eat and she can't control the drool. My God.
Yes.
And her eyelid was burned to the point that she can't blink. So her eye is so dry, she's losing her vision. Now, if you look at this child and look at this picture, you will see her beautiful smile that comes through these horrible burns.
Yeah, you can
just
see the
know-
smile from the mother.
And the smile from the mother.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what these surgeons did was to do a repair, and as you see in the post-surgery, amazing changes on this young child. It would be wonderful to go back another year from now and see how little Elfie is doing. She traveled.
It's a face you're talking about,
A
right?
face
If
and-
the previous
face and
story,
hands.
if the previous story
She
was
had a-
about a thigh or two thighs, now you're talking about a face.
This is face and her right hand that were burned. So she had 3 procedures, the mouth, the eye, and the hands. Interestingly enough, across the country, various Rotarians support this program in various ways. There are hundreds of women that make quilts, and they package and send them to Rotoplast. So every single child in the team is given a quilt made by one of the Rotarians from around the country, and is given that to use during their procedure and to send home. The quartermaster job is enormous. We shipped all the team's equipment, all the surgical equipment that was needed, all of the equipment for the anesthesiologist, the drugs, the dressings. They even shipped their own autoclave for the sterilization of equipment. 34 boxes of equipment weighing almost 1,700 pounds were shipped with the team.
Whose equipment?
Rotoplast belongs to Rotoplast.
I know, but Rotoplast is the team. But originally,
Rotoplast is an organization.
is an organization of San Francisco or of Netherlands in this case?
Rotoplast is the name of the lead organization that sends these teams out, and they do about 10 teams a year. And they own this equipment.
I
And
see.
the outgoing team went with 34 boxes and almost $60,000 worth of equipment. We returned home with 17 boxes
Where-
and 820 pounds.
Where are those boxes
They were all consumed.
consumed?
They were blankets that were given away. They were medicines that we used and or donated to the hospital.
I see.
It was materials.
All
and
the 34 boxes were not all with the kind of like fixed assets. You're talking about consumable
yes,
supplies,
right.
right?
So all the medical supplies and things like the sterilizer, all that for sure gets home. But all the consumables, what we didn't consume, we donated.
You donated. Very good, very good.
One more quick story.
Yeah, please.
This is a very heartful story about identical twins,
Identical twins.
identical twin girls. However, one had a cleft lip.
Okay. Not both of them. All right.
So, obviously, Joni wanted to look like her sister, who didn't have a cleft lip, and Mother wanted it more. And her cleft lip was significant, but not as severe as some. But the team thought they could handle this surgery easy. A team of 2 surgeons completed this, and I have very rewarding pictures of the twins before and after the surgery with their 2 surgeons. It was a very fun moment.
You barely see.
Barely see at the end.
Yeah.
These girls lived with their mother in
You
Arusha.
barely see the defect.
Yep. One more quick story. We call her the girl with the dirty dress.
The girl with
Dirty dress.
a dirty dress.
Girl with a dirty dress.
Uh-huh. What does that mean?
This girl is a 12-year-old girl, and as you see, her father is dressed in traditional African dress with the pierced ears and the, He traveled over 500 miles, half of that on a motorcycle taxi, where the
Motorcycle taxi. I know
Yes,
that.
where-
I know that. Yeah.
where there's a driver
Yeah, there's a back seat.
and then 2 passengers, father and daughter, that he too saw this poster in his village and wanted to bring her for surgery. She had a severe burn on one arm, and the surgeons did an enormously great job. I didn't have a way to get home. And the head nurse found out that the clothes that she had worn during the 3 days of travel, half of it on a motorcycle,
Yeah. Almost gone already.
she was wearing her only dress.
Uh-huh.
So my final picture and final story is the head nurse sent our assistants to town to buy her a new dress and gave her a new dress and shoes.
Bought her a set of a new dress.
And the team provided some funds
Oh my God.
that they could get a bus most of the way home.
Good. Yeah.
And this comes out of the team's pocket. This is the team being compelled.
That's the most convincing part. That's
So,
the most convincing part.
the closing story is the cleft lip, cleft palate, and you can see this picture of surgery here, Jack, is still the centerpiece for Rotoplast. However, the burns have become more and more a big deal. In the 2 weeks, the team got 1 day off. A typical day was walking from the hotel to the hospital. It took the team about 20 minutes to make the walk. We would get there early in the morning before the hospital opened at 7. We would work all day, sometimes the last surgeries at 7 at night, and then was the cleanup and fix-up process, and then the walk home. We would make our order at the hotel for dinner requests.
All right, you rent your own food.
We 12 to 14 hours every day. A part of my job was not only to collate and publish some photographs, but I created a daily blog. So I created 14 blogs during the mission. The team got 1 day off during the 2 weeks. And several of us went on a little
You
safari.
didn't get your day off because yours for 14
very
days straight
tiring.
up.
So my closure thought on the program is simply an amazing experience, Jack, to give back. You know, I did a very long career of over 40 years in the technology sector. I've had a consultancy for 10 years. I'm very active in many areas, but these kinds of missions are extremely rewarding. And this is my third international mission. You need to leave behind your own expectations, leave behind any negative attitudes, leave behind judgments, leave behind a demand for convenience. A hotel in Arusha is not the same as a
Yeah,
hotel
of course.
in Beijing.
Even the best room.
And if you go with that attitude, it'll make a change in your life.
Of course, of course.
It will make you appreciate how completely spoiled we are in the world we live in.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for letting us know this. And to me, it's not a story or a trip. To me, it's a class, it's a lesson, right? And I believe that especially now, when you see around what's happening, right, on a day-to-day basis, you know exactly what a significant it brings us, right? And I would recommend, my dear friends, that you think about it, and you think about it twice. Is it worth to take about a little moment to sit down, close your eyes, to think about how grateful they are to be thanked by those needy families, by the needy children whose life from that moment on got changed with the help of people such as this gentleman in front of me, Mr. Jackson Smith. With full respect, with everything, I have to wrap it up because I'm really over time.
And remember, Rotoplastic accepts donations.
Thank you very much.
It's needed.
Yes, sir. All right, that's much for today. Thank you for watching, my dear friends.